This is a new generation of aircraft, and they can be used in different ways, but they also offer significant market opportunities. This applies both for the manufacturing industry, for the tertiary sector, and also for our internal market and also beyond our borders.
The RPAS technology will create jobs and growth. Like the mobile phones in the 90s, drones are a platform for innovative technological applications from energy provision, satellite coverage, and yes, also transport. We need to avoid a burdensome formal certification process in every member state, use a single terminology, and conduct policies on the basis of the same principle, and of course the safety.
The Danish position is that as well as coming up with effective rules, the Commission should provide support industry in developing European product standards for civil drones.
The legislation of the EU should not make it possible for them to be constructed by lay persons. The issue of safety of civil aviation is not only related to harmonized requirements for RPASs.
It is important that the needs of both civil and military aviation are taken into account equally and safely.
We do consider that the Commission's plan for the integration of RPAS into European airspace from 2016 onwards is highly ambitious, given the need for further research and development of associated technologies.
We need to take into account other important elements, such as data and privacy protection and security. However, we believe that there is no need for development of new rules on this area, but instead we should facilitate the application of the existing framework on data protection and security.
We agree with the idea that unmanned aircrafts can make use of the open airspace in Europe. However, attention needs to be drawn to the fact that not all rules of traditional civilian air flights can be applied to drones.
The EU-level rules must also take into account criteria such as what type of operation we are talking about, as well as risks limited to the distribution of legal competences. The risks involved are quite high. We think that the legislative frame currently does not cover appropriately all the possible abuses in the way these systems might be used, and we feel that further improvements should be made to these systems.
The common European market should be opened before RPAs being used in civil aviation, and we can support the idea that these systems should be integrated in the civil aviation airspaces as well. But for this we need a single set of rules at EU level. This would deal at an appropriate level with aviation safety, aviation security, and data protection, and risks to citizens' rights.
Luxembourg also attaches considerable importance to the issue of privacy and data protection. A legislative proposal has been announced for next year. My delegation will be very keen to work further on this under the Luxembourg presidency, and we will be cooperating closely with our Latvian and Dutch partners on this.
As many of you mentioned, we must now find the right balance. What can be done, what should be done, and what must not be done at European level. And clearly there is an issue of safety, so everybody must be sure that all our airspace in this sense is safe, that the airports you cannot land, airplane cannot land and be some kind of under risk to meet some remotely or unmanned air aviation, such machine remotely piloted aircraft system.